We have ratios for Maze of Millennia. I hope you're ready to be surprised. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe buttons so you don't miss out on more awesome content. Short prints. We have 79 cases for you for this set, and I'm not surprised by these ratios. So your ultra ratios here, out of 79 cases, remember 12 boxes, 79 cases, you can do the math here. We pulled 336 bonfires on this data, which puts you at 4.25 per case. It's not horrible. We had 339 transaction rollbacks, 4.25. Okay, we're looking pretty decent right now for these. And then you get down here to triple tactics thrust. 174. That's roughly 2.2 per case. You're lucky if you're getting 2 thrust a case. And the fact that thrust was short printed, of all things, just it maintains a value across the board here, which I'm not too happy about, and nor should you be with this. It's cool that they did reprint thrust, but the fact that it was half of everything else that was present here is horrible and disgusting. Now, we had 336 number 1 Buzz Kings. You're looking at 4.25 per case, which is not terrible, but okay. We had 336 Harmonix Synchro Fusions, so you got a nice 4.25 split on those. Eye of Illusion, 336 for 4.25 of those. Now, there are some above the 336s here, and these are the 400s. So there were 400 copies of Photon Delta Wing for 5.06 per case. Yeah, you're basically, every case you open, you're getting 5 Photon Delta Wings, which, honestly, Photon Delta Wing's not a terrible card. I personally think that people want this. It's also, photon support at the end of the day, which is good. Now, 400 Ancient Chants. I'm not opposed to have seen Ancient Chant getting a reprint in here. I think a lot of people are happy to see Ancient Chant because the price tag that this card has had for most of its life has been pretty ridiculous. $40, $50 is absurd. Not a single person should be spending that amount of money on this stuff. Now, we had Fighting Flame Swordsman. This was 339, so 4.25 per case. We also had the Flame Swordsman spell at 400, putting it at 5.06, and the Drastic Draw, the Banish, Cyverse, draw 3 cards, 400 at 5.06 a case. Once again, thrust being short printed out here. I don't think a lot of people are happy about that, but it's just really discouraging just to know that they had to hit you with that ratio, and that's no. Now, collector's rares. Collector rare data is a little bit more interesting to kind of consider out here, because you have to remember you can have variances. You can get some cases with 3, some cases with 4 of these, and you get the chance to kind of see the spread of these a little bit more. This data is a little bit more interesting at the end of the day for consideration for what you can kind of expect out here. So, Bonfire, out of 79 cases, they only had 19 bonfires be pulled, which is actually not terrible. Considering Bonfire is one of the most sought after cards in the set, I think that this really says something. But if you're expecting this card to have, a cheap price tag, be slightly more affordable, that's not going to happen. All right, especially with this. Now, we also only had 18 transaction rollbacks pulled, and that's crazy to think about out here. All right, like, you pulled one less transaction rollback, but Bonfire and transaction rollback are the 2 cards that incentivize players to want to actually open this set, which is a little bit kind of disappointing to see. But hey, you know what? At least number 1 Buzz King had 25 of those pulled. Now, extra deck 1 of, maybe a 2 of, depending on how fancy we're trying to get out here in terms of, you know, your deck building space and ratios that you want to try. Okay. I actually think Buzz King is the largest pulled collector's rare out of this set. Good stuff. Harmonic Synchrofusion. I do think long term that Harmonic Synchrofusion is going to be a very, very strong competitor for a lot of these pickups out here. 21 of those on our case, not two, or on our cases. All right, I have Illusion. 18. I don't want to pull this card, nor do you. All right, Illusion support's cool, but not happy about that. Photon Delta Wing. We had 19 of those. 24 Ancient Chants. You know, if you want to talk about a card that you want to have some fun with out here, I think Ancient Chant is going to be one of those long-term pickups, especially for the Egyptian God collectors out here. Ooh, you know, rarity upgrades in the Egyptian God department, you know, they don't really interest me. Yes, I highly recommend actually picking up, you know, Ancient Chants just to have for the long term. Like, the card is actually very cool. Drastic Draw. I love how they have it labeled as Destiny Draw here, but we had 15 of those. Fighting Flame Swordsman. 16. Well, I mean, the Flame Swordsman stuff I feel like is whatever at this point. We also had the Ultimate Flame Swordsman. Now that one looks cool. We had 22 of those. Sure. Armored Exceeds. 19. Okay, not too bad. Now, Earthbound Servant Geogracia at a very even number of 20, which is good. We also had Chimera, the Flying Mystical Beast, at 20. You know, I don't know if I would have rather have had Chimera or the Flame Swordsman be in this set as the collector's rare, but okay. Jet Synchron also had a nice even 20, which is good. We also had 18 Multi-Fakers being pulled, which personally, a little bit low, but I'm happy to see that Multi-Faker did get an upgrade. You know, if it was anything, Multi-Faker's the one card that you look at and you're like, you know, this thing's still pretty good. And then we had 22 Magispector Bambukus being pulled. So if you're a fan of wanting to upgrade your Magispector stuff, you can actually do so. Now, what about the Junk Warrior Quarter Century? We had 80 of those pulled. So it comes down to about 1.01, I feel like, per case on those, which I'm okay with that. At least guaranteed if you're opening a case of the set trying to get Bonfire, at least you'll be walking away with a Junk Warrior. Now, Hydrant. This is going to come as a shock to some of you, but out of 79 cases, all right, Hydrant is actually harder to pull than Bonfire. Only 299 Hydrants were pulled out of this. Now, this is a lower rarity card. This is something that should be way more accessible. Something that you should be able to open up and be able to, you know, have easy access to. And what you're telling me here is the card is harder to get than one of the biggest chase cards in the set. Yes, it is. Am I surprised that they shorted Hydrant? No. But my problem here is if you were expecting to get a set of Hydrants for $1, $2, that's not going to happen now. All right? Konami said, hey, we understand we got to make this more affordable. We're going to reprint it. But the reprint equity is very, very high. So 299 Hydrants, and we were still having not enough for our decks. Man, that's... I guess it feels like you should get, you know, a set in a case, which if that's what people are going for, then that's fine. But at the end of the day, those are terrible, terrible odds to see. So, what do you think about the short prints and the surprises of Maze of Millennia? Great, right? That's exactly what you want to see. So please, leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. You guys have a good rest of your day, all right? Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.